All right. So, what are some thoughts on this week's reading while I'm entering in these few things? What were you guys thinking?
I liked that it was short.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
I don't know. I did a similar exercise. I think it was my first semester of college in one of my classes, and so it kind of reminded me of that. But I'm interested to see the rest of the results. I guess I don't know.
Uh-huh. Nice. Any other thoughts? I don't know about you guys, but I would never ever do a trip like this myself.
Yeah, no. I was like, what were they thinking? I
I
don't know.
was reading through it and I'm all like, I wouldn't do it, but that's just me.
Yeah, a little too in the middle of nowhere for my taste.
Right? Yeah. I'm not that much of a go-getter. I like sleeping where there's not bugs.
That and I love water, but when they at the part where they're like, oh, they chose to take on the rapids instead of go on the land. I was like, what are you thinking? That is so dumb.
I know. And then it was just like, oh, there was a really high chance of heavy rains, and usually it gets down, like the temperatures were super low. And I just went my husband and I just went camping with my brother-in-law and his wife a few weeks ago, and it's down by the beach, and it was butt cold in the evening. Like the weather was nice, but and I was prepared and stuff, but I don't know. I can sleep on the ground. I just can't sleep when I'm super cold. So
right,
when I read that, I was like, maybe you guys should have planned a little differently.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Soraya made it. Good.
Yeah.
That's way funny, though. I'm not a huge camper. I'm like, let's get a blow-up mattress and the biggest tent you can find, and
8 sleeping bags, all for me.
You're right. Yeah, no, really, though. And then as long as it's close to a place with a shower, oh man, I'm so there. That's okay.
So a motorhome or an RV.
Exactly. Yes. Or a cabin. If you're really
Cabins
lucky.
are nice.
Right. Yeah. All right. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. I was really cool, and I took a page out of Soraya's book, and I did a little tiny PowerPoint because it made me laugh. This should be good. This one. All right. So, oh gosh, there's so much. Right. This is our canoe trip. Okay. So this route, just a refresher, bears are not uncommon.
Oh, that was my other issue. Sorry.
Deal breaker number 1. I'm all like, oh no. I can't take on a bear. So, yeah. Anyway, during the day, temperatures can range between the 20s to the 70s, depending, and then easily every night, weather will be below the 20 degrees. So, yes. Weather changes constantly, and when it rains, that causes a lot of the rapid ranges to become unpassable because of the water. So, yay. And you have limited medical facilities. So,
let's go. There's no risk entailed.
Right. And so it's going to be a 5 to 7 day trip. You can go fishing. Yay. Okay. Right. So this is all of us. Yoo-hoo!
That's awesome.
Yay! I got really great pictures of all of us. So this is what we have, all of us in 2 canoes, and then this happens.
Oh my gosh, I knew I was going to be the one with the broken leg.
I knew it, yeah.
I knew it. I was going to be like, you know what, Jacob should get it, but.
Nah, I gave it to you, sorry. I was like, you're right in the middle, so yay. But both of our canoes are terrible, and Susan got a broken leg, so. So now what we have left for ourselves is these supplies. Do you guys see the screen? You see the Word doc, right?
Not yet. Just
Not
the
yet.
PowerPoint.
Okay, let me go back to the share. New share.
But seeing as my leg is broken, I probably can't see very well.
That's funny. I'm sorry.
I'll just make stupid jokes about it the entire activity.
Peg leg. All right. So now we have to, as a team, decide what order of most usefulness these objects will have.
Dang, it's so interesting to look at yours and then look at mine next to it, and it's like we're so different.
I know. I was thinking about hiding it because I'm like, I don't want this to skew what everyone else thinks, but I also don't want to like forget.
I think it's
mine.
cool. I like it.
Okay. So,
Oh,
but we
I'd let
do-
mine skew everybody's.
I did put in the expert ranking, and so we can see that right when we get all of this done. But
Ours, oh, dude, ours is actually like really close.
yeah,
Yeah, like I only see 2 thus far that don't agree.
nice,
Okay, now 3, but okay.
sweet. So
See,
what's
mine and yours are like polar opposites, Dora. So
Oh
I'm like,
no.
oh, shoot.
What, did you want the yellow frisbee?
Yeah, that was number 1 for sure. No.
I'm like, what the freak? What are you supposed to do with that? What was everyone else's number 1 though?
Map.
I put the water purification tablets.
Okay.
I put those 2.
I put the
What was that, Ernesto?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I put water tablets and then the plastic cover as my top 2.
Water tablets and plastic cover.
Oh, the map.
The plastic covered map. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we're torn between the water purification tablets and the map.
Cripple over here can read map, so.
Nice. So if you had to choose between a map and a water purification system, what one do you think would be the best to choose and why? Let's start
Are we
with
being optimist or pessimist?
let's
Optimistic.
plan for the worst and hope for the best, in my opinion.
Water purification tablets all the way then.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, give us some feedback on why.
Well, if we can't drink, we die in about 2 days, 3 days max.
Mm-hmm. So a map won't do you much good, right?
And I mean,
Yeah, and plus within 3 days, hopefully search and rescue can find us, right?
Yeah, that's the another part of the
Well, no, because they don't know
scenario.
where we are, right?
Right.
They don't know where we are.
We still have 4 days
Okay.
left in our journey, and then they'd probably give us another day just in case we were just lagging, because that's not uncommon, and then they'd send out a search party. So we have about 6 days before anyone comes looking. So I could see why the water purification tablets would definitely be a lot more helpful than a map. What are your thoughts, Suzanne?
I can go at the logic of the water at least prolonging energy, because, without anything, it's you get fatigued pretty quickly. So I would be willing to switch over to that one. As far as why I had the map first, I mean, if we could at least get closer so it's not as hard for them to find us, that was kind of my thinking, just so we could get be more close to civilization, because I'd rather not wait it out, by the water in bear country. So if I could go closer to where, car sounds are, the animals hopefully will be less, or will be more scarce, I mean.
Right. I totally see where you're coming from. I was a lot the same mindset. I was like, the faster we can get out of here, the better. But I guess, like, logically, we do have a long way to go before we get out of there. So no matter what, you're going to need water within the next few days. Cassidy, what's your thoughts?
I just did the water, and I did that just for the same reason that the guys did, just because we want to stay feeling kind of good. And if you don't have water and you're dehydrated, then
Right.
that's not good. So that's what I put down and what I think.
You wouldn't be able to read a map very well without being hydrated too, so that's a good point. So is everybody okay with water purification being number 1?
Let's do it.
Actually, sorry, just to play devil's advocate a little bit, like,
Yeah, you're good.
because this is technically fresh water. I guess there was no water bottles that we had on hand, right?
That's a good
guess not.
point. Yeah.
I suppose not. Whatever. I'll say water purification for now.
Okay. All right. What was everybody's number 2? I think Ernesto, you said that you were torn between the map and the purification tablets for the first 2 slots. Ernesto, so for the first 2 that you had the purification tablets and the map. Is that right?
Yeah.
Hi, Soraya.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. We're just going through all of the materials that we have left, and we're trying to rank them as a group. So
Okay.
the first one, we agreed on the water purification tablets. I don't know if you have any arguments against that. What did you have for the first?
For the first, I put the water purification too.
Okay, perfect. Well, there we go. Nice. All right. So we're going to work on the second one. What is the second most important thing for everyone?
For me, I put food.
There.
Why? I mean, I get the importance of the map, but I just like my food, and I don't know, I feel like I'd be pretty miserable without food. So.
Right. Perfect.
I put food too, kind of for the same reason. Well, I don't know. I just think if we can stay alive, then they can find us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good
I'd
point.
actually had food within my top 4, but for 2, I actually had the sleeping bags because it's going to be pretty cold and possibly really wet during the nighttime or even the daytime. So food is good, but if you're going to be super sick or whatever because you don't have anything to kind of shelter yourself, it's going to be a long rescue.
Right. And what kills you faster, hypothermia or starvation?
Hyperthermia for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you, Ernesto? What was your number 2? Was it the map?
My number 2 is the map, yeah.
Okay. All right. So on a survival standpoint, what would be the second most important thing? I think the sleeping bags does have a pretty good argument towards it. I had put in the compass myself because, like, the way I thought about the whole situation was keep anything to help me get the heck out of there, like ASAP. But looking at it more as, like, what do you need to survive? Like water, food, shelter. I don't know. Soraya, what was your second?
Feed the sleeping bag.
Oh, you had the sleeping bag too. Okay.
Uh,
Perfect.
Because if you are concerned about staying warm, then that like a quick or easy way for you to get warm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
For sure, because the temperatures are really extreme
Yeah.
in this area.
The temperature is an issue.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right. So, Cassidy and Parker, what are your arguments against the sleeping bag, or what would you say? Because you're both food.
Honestly, for me, I'm perfectly fine with going with a sleeping bag. I think that's pretty logical as well. I like the hypothermia argument.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'd be just fine switching over if that's what we want to do.
Okay. What about you, Cassidy?
I second that. I think it sounds good.
Okay. And Ernesto, what are your thoughts?
I can certainly see the reasoning behind the sleeping bags, and I'd be for that too. That was actually my third. So,
Perfect.
or the food and sleeping bag were my top 5. So,
Nice. Okay. We'll put that for number 2 then. Next up, what was everybody's number 3?
I originally had matches, partly for warmth, partly for light, and also maybe like possible signaling. But that was my original answer, though, not based off of what we've decided now.
For sure, yeah. Parker, what's your number 3?
I actually picked the fishing poles that were broken.
Ooh, thought. Okay, what was your thought process there?
My thought process there, so it kind of goes into what my next one is. My next one was the duct tape.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, maybe you could fix the fishing poles and possibly like get more food.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just did that as another safeguard for revival, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like you're very food oriented.
What can I say? I know what I like.
There you go. What about you, Cassidy?
I did the matches too.
Okay, awesome. Probably for like the same as Susan, just kind of warm signaling, that kind of thought process, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ernesto, what was your number 3?
my number 3 was actually sleeping bags, but my next one after that would be the food.
Okay. Sounds good. And Soraya, what was your 3?
It's a different. It's map because I want to be sure where I'm going.
Uh-huh. That makes sense. Yeah, all of us had the map for sure, at least within our top 5, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thinking more short term though, I think that's the best way to approach this situation. So that's just me. So maybe if we thought about selecting an item with that mindset. Sorry, I'm burning out a little bit.
No, you're good. I'm just thinking, and this is just my own personal opinion, I think where they said it'll probably be like at least 5 days until somebody like rescues us or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I probably want food.
Mm-hmm.
So
perfect. That's fair. And Ernesto, he had food as well. And Suzanne, what was yours again?
Matches.
Matches. Food and matches kind of go hand in hand.
You could probably also scare off bears with fire. Just saying.
Yeah, that's a priority. And Cassidy, yours was matches as well, and Soraya's.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like we're torn between matches and getting food. So it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg. Do we want to get food without matches, or do we want to have matches without food?
that's a good point.
Right. I think matches are a logical, good first step, in my opinion, because if you catch a fish, what good is that if you can't light a fire?
I like that.
Good
I
point.
don't think anyone wants to learn how to make sushi in the middle of the wilderness. So
Right. No. So are we all good with matches for number 3?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Parker, good.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. All right. Soraya, you're good.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Next one. I'm thinking for number 4, we should start thinking more about a map, maybe. Like I feel more comfortable keeping the map within the top 5 most important things, because knowing where you are is the first step to at least knowing how to get help.
Mhm.
That's true.
I agree.
Or at least like being in a spot where you know someone could find you. Like if you don't have a map, you can get yourself lost a lot faster. But if you do
Right.
have a map, you're like, okay, I can at least stay to where they might find me, you know? So I like that idea.
Right. Ernesto, are you good with doing the map for number 4?
I am.
Perfect. And Soraya?
Yeah.
Okay. Cassidy?
Sounds good.
All right. Doing the map. Okay. Thoughts on what should be the next priority? What do you think?
Pretty much after all that stuff, I had food.
Perfect. That is smart. Would everyone agree that food's probably the next top most important?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Yep. Thank you, Parker.
Yeah, you know,
As noted by
I've
the
been
last
waiting.
4 rounds.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it since round 2. So I mean,
That's so
but no, I
funny.
agree.
So thinking on the food line, should we also pick up on the fishing pools as well as the food?
Sure, I like that.
Yeah. Is anything else like screaming at anyone?
Originally, I started going towards like insect repellent because I don't know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much the one closest to the ground, so.
Hey, that's a valid concern. There's no getting away. Right. But on the other hand, you probably won't die of bug bites, and if you get a fever, the odds of you dying within the next few days is probably happily slim.
Yeah, I guess.
Just saying, it's
I know.
but for a small moment, you know.
I know. I'm just being fakely crotchety about a fake broken leg.
I would take your vote into account, I promise. Speaking of the fact that Susan has a broken leg, should we think about medical supplies to be our next most important thing? Like, would that be above fishing pools, or does that kick fishing pools back?
Well, when Parker actually brought up duct tape, I hadn't thought of this originally in the one round, but I would almost consider duct tape maybe in that situation, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
keep everything together.
Right, it'd help to make a really good splint. Cassidy, what's your thoughts? Like, if it came between keeping fishing poles or trying to keep stuff that helps out with Susan's broken leg, what would you pick?
Honestly, I guess when I was thinking about this, I was thinking that since the fishing pole's broken, I was thinking that we could use like a part of that for a splint with the duct tape for the leg.
Oh, that's
That's a
a
good
thought.
So
I was
don't
kind of thinking about that with the duct tape too, so I'd consider those two next. But
know. Yeah.
I was
Okay.
considering fixing the fishing poles with the duct tape,
Mhm.
but I didn't think of the splint, so that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. For sure. We got 10 minutes until the meeting ends. Newsflash. Okay. I don't want to spend $15. Okay. All right. So hammer time. So let's keep the fishing poles as the next priority, so that's our number 6, and then the duct tape as our 7. Is that fair for everyone?
Yep.
Okay. So the things we have left: parachute cords, compass, whiskey, insect repellent, a yellow frisbee, and a set of clothes.
I would consider
Oh.
maybe that.
And the flotation devices. Sorry.
Well, since we already had great experiences with the water, I would consider maybe the clothes just for just for like warmth's sake, and I don't know, I don't know how much it's gonna rain. I mean, I know they're wet, but I'm assuming they're not gonna be wet for 5 days unless it like pours.
Right.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of had that same thought. Like you could dry them out, and then
Mhm.
like when it does rain, you could like switch clothes or something. I don't know.
Right.
There's only 3 sets of clothes though, so
Right. Ernesto, if it came down to picking between the flotation devices or a couple extra pairs of clothes that are currently wet, what would you pick?
You guys might think this is funny, but the next thing on my list after we have all the food and everything would be the whiskey. And the reason
Oh.
for that is because it can be used as an antiseptic. If somebody falls and scrapes themselves, more along first aid, you could also use it to start a fire.
Ooh, good
So
one.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
I think that flotation devices, unless we wanted to write something on it and send for help and have it flow down the river, I don't really see them as being much use.
Okay.
Um,
It might
So I
be
was
good for like a
thinking
place to sleep.
Oh, okay, I got that.
Or we can get the cord for the parachute and the flotation devices, and you can drag me on that, so you don't have to carry me around.
I like that.
Awesome. Nice. Let me think.
I said that half sarcastically, but half that's just out there.
It really is an option. Like we could totally like cruise you around on that. So
But the parachute cord is one of the next ones I would pick too. 'Cause
yeah,
you can make a little what do you call it? Can't think of the name. Just something to carry Suzanne in.
mhm.
Yeah, I was
Kind
thinking
of like a sling almost. Not like a
Like
sling, but like a big
hammock?
hammock, yeah.
A hammock, that's right.
Okay. Nice. All right. So let us make a decision. Parachute cord, whiskey, flotation devices. What do you think would be the most useful? We gotta hurry. We got 6 minutes. The
I guess I'll say the cord.
cord. Does anyone feel particularly strongly about this?
No.
I'm fine with the cord.
Okay.
sounds great to me.
Cord it is. All right. Well then, within those two, let's choose between the flotation devices and the whiskey. Thoughts?
Are we gonna be like traveling anywhere, or are we just staying put?
We may need to travel. Like if we find out we're in some kind of bear's territory or something like that, we might have to move.
Yeah, I think since we got the map kind of higher up on the list, I would assume so too.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would say the flotation devices.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, I'd go for that.
Good with that?
Okay. So next would be whiskey. Unless you think a set of clothes is more important, or a yellow frisbee, or insect repellent, or a
I mean,
compass.
the yellow frisbee's tempting, but
I know, right?
He's a better fire starter, so
Okay, let's go for whiskey. Is the compass important to anyone? Should that be our next one?
Mm,
I think you can figure out kind of which direction you're going fairly easy based on the sun. And
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Good thinking.
You sound like men.
I would vote for maybe the set of clothes then next.
Clothes. Okay.
Oh, wait, we were talking about the whiskey though too. I would go for the whiskey then the set of clothes.
Right. We have the whiskey for number 10, so clothes could be
Oh,
11.
I was looking at my own because I was like marking what we were putting in. Anyways.
Okay. So clothes 11.
I think so.
Ernesto Parker.
That sounds
yeah,
great.
I'll go with that.
All right, 11 it is. Between insect repellent, compass, and yellow frisbee.
Oh,
I'd choose the insect repellent personally.
yeah, same here.
Okay.
Agreed.
So that is 12. So compass 13 or yellow frisbee 13.
I would say the only way Frisbee's going to win is if somebody can throw it really far and get somebody's attention to rescue us sooner, but otherwise, the compass.
Nice. Okay. Everybody want the compass instead?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that's 13, and that leaves frisbee for 14. All right. That was a scenario. So I am going to reveal the expert, and we can kind of look through that. Go ahead and look through, and if you see anything funny, go ahead and put it out.
Frisbee. Sorry, that's all that came to mind.
I know, right?
It has the flotation devices as number 2. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. Fairly close, though, in a lot of our rankings.
Yeah, like we totally nailed it for the compass. And then we were too far behind with the food.
Yeah, sleeping bags, you were pretty close there too, you personally, and then we weren't too far off the mark. Parachute cord.
Mhm.
Yeah, usually just within a couple of things. I think it's interesting that duct tape is first.
I was just going to say that. That's crazy.
Right.
What were they thinking? They were going to fix the flotation devices and just start again?
Actually, just so you know, in the little discussion leader thing, it'll go through and give an explanation for each of these and why they rated it for what they did. So if you're interested, go ahead and go back and read over those. All right. So I have like under 2 minutes left. So just so you know, as discussion leader, I'm supposed to post a few things on the discussion board. And that includes your guys' scores on this. So if you guys could add up your individual error and then your total score and then send them to me, like you can send them over text or something, I'll go ahead and post them.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
yeah, I think that's all that I needed. But
Next week is Wednesday at 5.
right, let me go over that really quick. So I was looking on the email, and our instructor, he said that it's not necessary to meet up next week as an entire group, but you have to meet up with at least one person. So if everyone's still okay with meeting up on the same day as we had planned, then we don't really have to change anything.
Okay.
That
I'm
sounds
good with
to me.
Wednesday.
Right. So we had planned Wednesday at 5, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. That's what I marked down.
All right. Who was discussion leader for that?
Think it was me. Either me or
Parker.
Jacob. Me or Jacob, but I'll do it since Jacob's not here.
Awesome. Okay.